Double Olympic medalist Manu Bhaker is with us, and she doesn't need any introduction now. Sirf naam hi kafi hai. The name itself is enough. Welcome Manu Bhaker. Welcome to DD India. First of all, appreciate you giving us your precious time. Congratulations from all of us.
Thank you.
You have achieved something which has never happened before. Tell us, how big are these medals for you?
Honestly, I think we always realize after the history has been made.
Yeah.
And the same was the thing for me also. Earlier, I was not aware of the facts and how many medals one person from India has won in previous games. I was not aware of it. And the value of the medal, I mean, coming from Tokyo, definitely it means a big deal for me because I was world number 2 during the times of Tokyo, and how the expectations were, I was not able to deliver it to that. But this time around, I mean, the planning was way better, and the training was way better, and I was prepared in a much better way this time. So I would say I was confident, and hope the results.
You're saying there were no expectations this time around?
No, this time around I had expectations, but not. I did not want to prove myself to anybody.
Okay.
I just wanted to do it for myself, and I was like, you have put in a lot of hard work, and you have to deliver how much you can, like you're up to your caliber.
Yeah.
So that was the state of mind.
Okay. Did it take time to sink in that yes, double Olympic medalist, you have won 2 medals, and that too in a single edition?
So actually, I mean, after my first finals, I had the match very next day, and then the final very next day. So after 2 days, I had another match. So I was not really able to sit and think about the medals that I had won, but rather I was thinking about the next thing in hand. So I was just focused on the next events. And now I feel really good. But we can always do better. So
you were in that zone, you're saying.
Yes.
But 25-meter high pistol, it was your pet event. You came 4th. Must have hurt you a lot.
Yes, it doesn't feel good at all. In 25-meter, I mean.
You don't want to talk about it?
No.
What do you do for concentration? I mean, you remember I spoke to you after Tokyo Olympics also. What do you do for the concentration in the sense that during the tournaments so that you don't get swayed away?
Firstly, music is my to-go every time. I will have different playlists for different moods, and if I need motivation, I have different playlists for that. If I want to feel absolutely nothing, I have playlists for that. So I rely on music a lot. And other than that, I have other routines that I do that involves yoga and meditation. Yoga in morning, meditation before bed, and reading Gita, and just keeping myself very, just like a regular person, normal and chill and relaxed. Yeah.
You've been meeting politicians, felicitations happening. You have been meeting journalists, giving interviews almost every day. Tell us, how has life changed after Paris Glory?
I think this life, honestly, if I would say, this life is way difficult than my shooting life.
Are you not enjoying it?
I mean, everything has its own importance. I understand that, and I do enjoy everything to a limit. But sometimes we do feel tired. Although right now it's good. However, it's going, and I'm happy like how people are showering me with so much of love and care and support.
Like I said, what changed after Tokyo Olympics? Like you were saying that you were number 2 before going to Tokyo. You were also contemplating leaving the sport, if I'm not wrong. You were about to go abroad for further studies. What changed? Who motivated you? What changed after Tokyo?
So, as soon as Tokyo was over, I was so desperate to shoot in Paris 2024. I was like, Paris is gonna be my year no matter what. So initially it was like that. I was not able to stay away from my sport at all. I was desperate to go and shoot again. But in 2022, the year was not so good, not in my favor. But I was in the team, I was shooting decent, but I was not happy from within. Then 2023 also, I mean, I was in the team, but not enjoying the sport anymore. So I had my ups and downs and
But did you have self-doubts?
lows, but of course, yes.
But
yes,
how long
yes.
did it take to pick up the gun again?
No, I was shooting. I was consistent with my daily routines. There was no lack in that, but it was just I was not happy from my from my heart. Then when I started to work with Jaspal sir again, that was the time when things were like, you cannot be in between of anything. You have to decide what you want to do. Either it's sports or either you leave it entirely. You cannot be hanging just in between. So that was the time when I was like, okay, I don't know what it's gonna take for me to win a medal for the country, but I will do absolutely everything that might bring me the positive result in the next Olympics. So that's how it all started, and then I never looked back. I mean, my parents were always by my side, especially my mother, and I think
Father too.
that all played a huge part. My mom, my dad, my brother,
Now
especially
you know.
my mom.
Now you know why Tokyo Olympics happened. Now you have the answers.
No, of course, now I think, yeah, I do. I know.
You spoke about Jaspal Rana. We all know what happened after 2021. How did that reunion happen? Who approached first?
I don't think it matters who approached whom and who tried to break the ice, but the bigger thing is that we started to work together. And the only thing that we really wanted to be like, okay, this has to be a rule, was that we will not discuss about the past events. We will not be indulging ourselves in what happened in the past.
You would give how much percentage of the credit that you would give on your medals?
See, it's not like percentage or anything. I mean, it's all about teamwork. Without my parents also, it wouldn't have been possible. Without my brother, without my coach, without the support staff that I've had, my physios, my strength and conditioning, my coach, my nutritionist, my sponsors. I mean, it's a combined teamwork, and it's not like just one person did a miracle or just two people did some miracle. Yes,
Is he a tough taskmaster?
Yes, he is a very, like, if you understand him, it'll take a lot to be able to understand him.
Very
At
straightforward.
times,
I know him.
yeah, very straightforward also. He speaks his mind, and I mean, sometimes it hurts people, sometimes it doesn't.
Tell us the role of the government also, Manu. I mean, government working at the grassroots level. When we speak about Khelo India Games, we speak about Top Scheme. Government doing the right thing. They're working at the grassroots level.
Honestly, if you ask me, I think Khelo India and Top Schemes are good.
Yeah.
There are many things that have actually many athletes that have come out of it. But grassroots, we really need to improve, because see, for example, Khelo India will take people, top 5 junior athletes, or top 5 youth athletes, or top 10 maybe. So they're already in the frame. You need to work on the people, like select children from a very young age, and then actually teach them, then actually nourish them into an athlete. So I think that sort of thing also should be started if we want to become a sporting culture, a sporting nation. Yeah, so I think that should be initiated.
You also met Prime Minister Narendra Modi after you won the medals. Must have been a proud feeling to meet him again.
Yes, I've met him a couple of times, and it's always inspiring and it always motivates us. The way he interacts with the athletes and almost one-on-one. So it's very heartwarming, and it's always good to see him.
What did he tell you?
We had a very informal kind of conversation, and we were discussing how the events unfolded in Paris Olympics, or what the experiences were of different athletes. So the hockey people share their experience, the athletes, like athletics people, they share their experience, and shooters also, we also share our experiences. So it's like one-on-one different.
Manu, now after Paris Glory, many youngsters are looking up to you. What message do you want to give to them?
Firstly, my first message would be to the parents that support your kid in whichever field they want to go in. Give them options, let them explore what they love the most. They will excel in it. So let them choose their career and just be the pillar of strength that they need. And then to the children, if you're given the liberty, if you're given the opportunity to follow your dreams, follow your paths, I think you should be grateful and you should actually put in honest hard work in order to achieve your dreams and not just take it as just opportunity and lose the opportunity. So make the most of it and work really hard and just you will be able to get what you want.
A message for the fans who were rooting for you?
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I got to know after a long time that after a few days I got to know that so many people were watching me shoot online in my matches also. So, and so many people had come also to the shooting arena to cheer me up in the finals, and I mean, it means the world to us. Being an athlete and having so much of so many people supporting us and cheering for us, and because they know that we can do it, and this kind of belief we also have in ourselves that people are rooting for us means we have the ability, we can achieve something. So it feels really good, and I'm really grateful for all the love and support.
And when do we see you next in the range?
Next in the range, hopefully after 3 months. So yeah, you can see me anytime.
All right. Last question before we wrap up. Manu, you want to change the color in Los Angeles Olympics, color of the medal?
See, the aim would always be for gold, and I will absolutely keep my routines and the amount of work that I put in my career, in my shooting. I would keep it consistent and very flexible according to how it needs, what needs to be done, and everything. I'll always address it. We never know what the future holds in for us, but I will always try my best, and I will try my best for the first place.
All right, well, sir, thank you, Manu.
You.
Thank you for speaking with DD India, and wish you more and more success and laurels in future. Thank you so much.
Hello and welcome to this special broadcast, Champions Speak, and on this special edition we have with us a very special guest, Olympic bronze medalist Swapnil Kusale, who hails from Maharashtra, and he participated at Paris Olympics 2024, won a bronze medal in the sport of shooting. A very warm welcome to you, Swapnil. Thank you so much for giving your time and joining us here on DD India. Many congratulations to you, first of all, for winning the coveted bronze medal in 50-meter rifle 3 positions event. And we all are really proud of you. Seeing a rising star like you makes us even more proud. Now, Swapnil, when we talk about you and your journey from TTE to an Olympic bronze medalist, how the journey has been altogether for you, Swapnil?
First of all, thank you, ma'am, for the congratulations. And the journey is quite long and lots of challenges I faced. But it's a good journey for me till now, so I'm happy.
In which year did you pick up the sport of shooting for yourself?
So I started the shooting around 2009 from the Krida Prabodhini, like Maharashtra government schemes. And from there, it's my first shooting started in the Nasik. And after that 6 years I did shooting in the Nasik Krida Prabodhini, and that time I was like a beginner, and like after 2 years, 3 years I become a little bit good in shooting. Then I have been selected for the Indian team, and after that I met Deepali ma'am, she is a coach for Indian team. And from the 2012, she became my coach until date. So I learned so much things from her, and so many about the shooting and the discipline. I was in a shooting game, and because of that, I won this medal. And after that, around 2014-15, I joined the railways, but they just gave me what we say, there's a post, and we don't have to go there, and just have to play for the nations and take your time to do training and everything. And because of that, I do every day like training all the years. And like somehow in the COVID, we just messed up everything. So I missed my Tokyo Olympic selection trials and everything. So it was quite little bit disturbed that time. But after that, I come back myself and I focus on my body and my health. Again, I focus on shooting more and more. Then for this period of this time, and I morely focus on everything like nutritionist, physio sessions, coaching, and my ammunition testing and everything. So overall, it's all combined with everything. And because of that, I just own medal and everything comes together.
What made you join shooting? Who was your inspiration?
It's like in 2008, Common Games was happening in Pune, and I just was watching the movie, like watching the TV, and there was the finals are going on for the shooting, and I saw the finals, and it was an interesting game, and I just myself that something is different from like other sports, so I choose the shooting that time.
And when we talk about shooting, it is a bit expensive because there are many equipments which one need to practice. How did you manage all that in your beginning period?
Like first started 6 years. That time, government helped me, Maharashtra government. They helped me like they provide me rifles, kit, ammunitions, and other activities like education stuff and food activities like this type. And after that, I got a sponsorship when I like doing shooting, bull shooting. That time, the sponsors call me and say, "We'll sponsor you and support you." Like this happened in 2014, and once I go up and up, like in shooting and doing good shooting, that time the main thing like OJQ supported me a lot, and the federation even. The media SAI, like SAI and Sports Authority India, they helped me a lot to get my ammunition, proper ammunition, selected ammunition, barrel testing, and they arrange the camps over the world like other countries to see our ability and to good shooting for the good shooting because the weather conditions matters a lot in 50-meter shooting range. So we need to go out of like zone like we have the conditions in India, like sometimes it's too hot, sometimes it's too cold, and sometimes raining. So the other countries have the different weather. So we need to check the weathers, and according to that, our shooting more improves that time. So this all happened that time.
When we talk about the climate condition and also the condition that support this 50-meter rifle 3 position event, tell us more about it, how it goes, because this is entirely different from what we see in air pistol or air rifle events, and it is a bit difficult as well. Please explain us and help us understand more about it. Why is it considered that difficult?
Ma'am, it's more challenging event, and I love to play the challenges like in shooting. It's like we have to challenges face like wind and then weather conditions. Sometimes it's too hot, sometimes it's too cold, and sometimes it's too sunny also. We can't see, we have to adjust our filters from the side, and sometimes it's shady, like too dark, sometimes too rainy also. And because of this all changes we have to go through, and we have to shoot, and we have to see how to manage everything at the same time while shooting a single shot. So basically it's more challenging than other event.
And there are 3 events, if you're not wrong, in this when we talk about 50-meter 3 positions. There are 3 different positions. What sort of challenges did you face in your initial years, and did you ever consider changing your event to air rifle or air pistol?
No, ma'am. I love this kind of shooting. Like I love 50-meter, so I never thought of like changing the event to the rifle, air rifle, and other like we in 3 positions. It's like 3 particular events, like positions, like kneeling position, prone position, and standing position. So sometimes the people who changes more faces in standing position because it's little bit hard because the meter of the 50-meter is too long, and sometimes because of windy weather the shots are not going well or in the centers. Because of that, some athlete or some shooters face more challenges in the standing position.
And also when we talk about your inspiration, you said that you love this sport and this particular sport, but there are times when you are not at your best of the level, and especially when we are beginning to learn a particular sport. What exactly was that the sort of motivation that kept you going on during your hard times?
That time I watched most of the finals, which are the international competitions finals, and I see and check how the people and athletes shoot very well and how the settings and everything. So I learned something from there also, and with my coach, and she taught me also how to see ourselves and being a strong at that point. It's more important.
When you look back at your journey, what has been the lowest point so far?
I think it's a COVID time, because I was stuck at home for the 6 months, and because of that I couldn't train well, and I think because of that I missed the Tokyo Olympics.
We also learned the fact that you bought your first rifle from your salary that you drew from your railways job. Is it true?
I think my father got the loan, and because of that I got my new rifle that time.
So your father had to loan some amount to get your rifle. Tell us more about that, because that journey, that phase would have been really interesting for you and motivational as well.
Actually, I don't know anything about what my parents did, because they never told me what they have gone through, because they know that if he wants to win or he wants to do a very well in shooting, we don't have to say anything about what we're going through and conditions they have gone. So I am very thankful to my parents that they never show me and we are not have this much amount and we don't have this kind of stuff right now. So we just quit it like this.
And also, what has been the biggest achievement, the first biggest achievement of your career so far?
This is the starting now, and my dream is a little bit more, because I just want to win the gold medal for the Olympics. That's my dream. So it's just started now. So let's see.
That's really interesting to hear that you don't consider any of the achievement as big, because your Olympic dream is bigger than any of the achievements that you've achieved so far. Now, talking about your Olympic stint, the moment when you got qualified, when you secured a quota to represent India at the prestigious Olympic Games, and that too after the COVID heartbreak, explain us more about that.
Before the quota competition, I was going. It was tough time for me, and the condition was not good that time, and facing so much problems in shooting, and the position was not good, everything. But somehow I overcome from that, and myself made strong by making physical fitness strong and everything. So focus on nutritionist and my food activity. After that, in competitions that was the World Championship competition, and I won the quota, but I didn't know that I won the quota when I come back. When the coach told me that you won the quota, but I was in a mood of that I lost the medal, so I was a little bit not in good mood that time. So just those phase that time, and after that I have gone through so many phases. I told myself you have to be in that position to stay there. We have to compete to all of them, who had not won the quota and the one on top. So you have to compete with them with the proper mindset and proper knowledge. So after that, you can be qualified for the Olympics. So I did all these things.
And when you got to know about it, that you've secured an Olympic quota and you're all set to go to Olympics, how was that?
Ma'am, that's the one phase that this is just the one phase to qualify the Olympics. The main phase is to play there and go there and to win the medal.
I'm so happy to see that you're so determined. We also learned the fact that during your competition days and in one of the competition, you happened to defeat Gagan Narang. Is that true?
He's also good shoot, like the legend which we saw. He won the medal in the Olympics also. So No, it's just about the game only, not like defeating anything.
Which shooter do you actually look up to who comes across as your inspiration?
I think myself because I've seen myself how I came, and it's long journey for me. And somehow I see all of them like who shot well or did a good for the India. I look up them and take some good points from them, and I learn what I need for the shooting.
When we talk about your journey, it's been really interesting, and especially you've come out really good in this edition of Paris Olympics, and people know you more because of your talent, because of your shooting skill. You made it to the bronze medal match, won the bronze medal, and shooting has altogether been doing really good at this particular edition of Olympic Games. What, according to you, is the reason that shooting is coming out so gloriously at this particular edition of Olympic Games as compared to the previous ones?
This is because of athletes' hard work, the federations, the SAI, the Authority of India, and even the supporting staff who help athlete to make their same belief and the body conditions or the physical fitness or the food. Because of all this comes together, the athlete are become like stronger and stronger, and because of that, they started winning and believing that they can also win the medal in the Olympics.
And now, talking about your Olympic stints, how were the matches going on? What was your mental stress level when you were facing each one of them and moving on to the next level? And then ultimately the bronze medal match was there. How did you manage yourself at that particular time, Swapnil?
It's like every athlete has just a phase of like pressure, feel, and everything. The heartbeat goes on a higher and high level. So, but I just focus on my body, my breath, and because of that, my psychologist told me that just believe in yourself and just talk to you and feel what your body needs or what your body talks about you, and just focus on every particular things that goes in your mind. Just be there and just go. Let it be. If the thoughts comes, let it be. It will be fine, because the thoughts not going to be stay there for the longer time or longer period. So it's okay to become that, because it's a normal thing that comes for at the bigger level or bigger competition. The thoughts comes in like this. It's a normal thing. So I just believe myself, and my supporters who there and on my phone call, they give me more and more support and believe in me, myself, that you can do it.
We wish you all the very best for your future endeavors, and we hope to see you holding that gold medal in another edition of Olympics. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And with this, it's a wrap here on this special broadcast, Champions Speak with Swapnil Kushale, the bronze medalist of Paris Olympic Games. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.